welcome to the Waste of Web Space Podcast, Episode 3.
Yeah, well, by far and away, this is the longest series we've ever done.
It is, and we're thinking about doing a best of already, since we've got to Episode 3. We don't normally get that far, do we?
Yeah, if we can cut about sort of 5 minutes out of each one and merge it all into one thing.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
We had a few complaints about the podcast, though, mainly because they're saying we're not dramatic enough. We're not epic enough. We haven't got the X Factor.
Yeah, but we know that. That's why we're not on the X Factor.
Yeah, that's why we didn't audition.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if people are saying that it needs to be more like the X Factor, so it might need to be a bit more about Chalisa and Gary Barlow than it does about the actual podcast featured, the talent featured in the podcast.
Yes, it could be. I mean, perhaps we could dedicate an entire section of the show just to two people arguing with each other, whilst in the background people sing. Yeah,
we could possibly do that. But yeah, we will promise to try and make it more dramatic. So, should we get on with the show?
12 followers on Twitter.
It's including ourselves, that.
5 million YouTube hits.
Actually, it's just 5.
5 YouTube hits. The 92nd most popular podcast in Azerbaijan. Yorkshire's most popular fashionable men.
Voted for by David Blunkett.
Described as a great listen, according to Horse and Hound magazine.
That's the food magazine, actually.
They're like the X Factor.
Talentless.
They're in the final 2. It's Jimbo and Fisher.
Valentine's Day, then.
Yes! Oh, sorry, yes.
I'll start doing that now.
Yeah, so I can't get out of the voice for it. It is difficult.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. I mean, what do you make of it? I mean, is it a bit of a... It's commercialised, isn't it? It's money-making scheme, isn't it, really?
Yeah, well, I think everything's sort of a money-making scheme, isn't it?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's a chance to show on one day of the year that you love your other half.
But again...
You can treat them like rubbish.
Is it more about that now, or is it more about the money making from the shops and retail outlets and things like that? I mean, don't forget, if you want to sponsor our podcast, you can do. Just get in touch with us.
Yeah.
At Waste of Web Space on Twitter.
Yeah, just send a cheque to the post and hope the Royal Mail might deliver it if we're lucky.
But yeah, I mean, I had a friend who had a bit of a nightmare on Valentine's Day. He went to the shops looking for a card, not on Valentine's Day, of course, the day before.
Yeah, obviously, this friend of yours,
Yeah, this friend of mine. He was looking for a card, scouring the cards, and he found one, had a look at it, thought, a bit cheesy on the front, but he opened it up, and inside there was a really nice rhyme. Okay, a really nice little rhyme. And he bought it, okay, and then he realised on Valentine's Day, when he wrote it in the morning before giving it to his girlfriend, that it didn't have an envelope.
Really? I can't believe your friend would do that.
Yeah, it didn't have an envelope, because it was in cellophane, you see.
Yeah.
And he says that he was surprised that it was in cellophane without an envelope.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a bit surprised by that. Nevertheless, he thought he'd give it to her anyway, she wouldn't mind. So he gave it her, and as she was reading it, he noticed on the front it said, boyfriend.
That's your friend made a bit of a mistake there then, really, didn't he?
Yeah. But the reason my friend thought it was a girl's card was because it had a keepsake on it, like a heart charm thing on it. And my friend originally thought, well, what? You know, why would a boy want that?
Mm.
And it turns out it was referring to the person who got the card as a partner and things like that.
Oh, so you think it may have been from a boyfriend to a boyfriend?
I think that's what my friend may have actually bought accidentally by mistake.
You seem to very much get into the mindset of this friend quite well. It's almost as though we'll not give full details.
He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's made it up to her.
Oh, pardon.
Apparently.
I'm very glad to hear that your friend made it up to her.
I'm not going to mention him because he wouldn't like me to mention him on air.
No. Well, anyway, Jimbo. It is an interesting one because this year for Valentine's Day, I bought my girlfriend. I bought her some flowers that are synonymous with Amsterdam. She loved them. There was a great big smile that came on her two lips. But in terms of being good boyfriends on Valentine's Day, I think in terms of the worst boyfriend around, we'll probably have to go to Oscar Pistorius, you would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a different concept when it comes to Valentine's Day, hasn't he? Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people sort of say it's good to show your heart on Valentine's Day and not sort of shoot your girlfriend through the heart.
Yeah.
You sometimes see that Cupid with a bow and arrow, but certainly not with a 9mm pistol. Which is a very small pistol, so you actually do well to find the pistol, pick it up and get a bullet to fire out of it.
You could call him Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah, or Pistol Glorious or something like that. I mean, it is remarkable that his girlfriend allegedly turned up to surprise him It was the initial story. Then he thought, why would you go and surprise someone who you know has got a gun?
And as you say, you know, she was quite good looking as well. It's hard to mistake her for a burglar, isn't it?
Yeah, particularly after shooting her 4 times. You think, after second time, is that my gorgeous supermodel girlfriend, or is it a burglar? I'm not too sure. I'll shoot him for a 3rd time, and just to find out. And then, a 4th one as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's putting up a bit of a, you know, in his defence, he's trying to say that he didn't know it was her, and he's putting together a defence, but to be honest, he hasn't really got a leg to stand on, has he?
Yeah, I'm very glad that we're doing jokes about Oscar Pistorius not having any legs, because it's far nicer than doing jokes about him being a murderer who shoots his loved ones.
Allegedly.
Well, I think we're clear on the fact that he did shoot her. That's not really in dispute.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
But the one notable thing was that he does compete with the able-bodied athletes, and he has said in the past that he does just want to be like any other sportsman. But I didn't realise that the sportsman in question was O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. Of course, if he's going to be like O.J. Simpson, he'll probably get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think he'll be in court with the sort of the glove doesn't fit, but instead it'll be a shoe or something like that?
Of course, we had the near-miss asteroid.
Yeah, well, I saw it in the news. Yeah, there was a big near miss. I thought it was the case that Piers Morgan was about to land in the UK on an aeroplane, but it turns out that it wasn't. It was to do with an asteroid, wasn't it?
Yeah. Thankfully, it wasn't Piers Morgan. I mean, I were looking out for it. I got my binoculars out, and apparently it was the size of an Olympic swimming pool. And I looked through my binoculars and the telescope, and I couldn't see anything at all that looked like an Olympic swimming pool.
Yeah. Did you see it go flying through the sky, but with sort of bits of water spilling out of it and stuff, and people trying to race in there?
Yeah, and Tom Daly was nowhere in sight either.
No.
But, I mean, why did they use an Olympic swimming pool to describe the size of it? I mean, and I know what they're saying is probably that it's been in the news a lot, Olympic swimming pools. It's been on the Olympics last year, so most people might know how big they are now. But I disagree. They should have used something that was more that people know how big it is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sort of some kind of measurement that was in the news a lot more.
Yeah. So they could have said, like, 2 of Michael Barrymore's swimming pools.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, you'd like to think not many people have been in Michael Barrymore's swimming pool, so that might be a reference that they wouldn't understand, hopefully.
Well, not many people go in Michael Barrymore's swimming pool anymore, anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, not that they're still alive to tell the tale, anyway.
No.
But it is amazing, because an Olympic swimming pool is 50 metres long. So I don't see why they didn't just say it was 50 metres. Because it's not that much of a distance that people can't comprehend quite how long 50 metres is.
Yeah, and it only passed, you know, this described as a near miss, which was was it 17,000 miles away?
Yes, or as EasyJet called it, a short bus journey away from your preferred destination.
If anything, I'm a bit disappointed that Felix Baumgartner didn't try and jump off it.
Yeah, as he's going along, travelling at sort of, probably 3,000 miles an hour or something, and jumping off back to Earth. That would be pretty spectacular. And imagine if he landed in an Olympic-sized swimming pool afterwards.
And they didn't even attempt to send Bruce Willis up and blow it up.
Did they not? Did you see his interview this week, Bruce Willis?
No,
last week on the One Show.
No. Oh, apparently he turned up. He said he was jet lagged.
Yeah. By jet lagged, I think they mean drunk. Effectively, by the looks of it.
He drank on the plane,
yes.
Which means he can call himself jet lagged.
Yes, because it's a 5-hour time difference. So, if you ever imagine, or maybe 6 hours, something like that. If you ever imagine how tired you feel, sort of, what time do you get up in the morning? About 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
If you put an extra 5, 6 hours on the day, and you're getting to the stage where it's maybe 8 o'clock in the evening, something like that. You're not that much more disorientated than you were at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Not really, no.
So I don't see quite why I was that tired from the jet lag.
I don't know. Maybe he was busy looking out for the asteroid.
Yeah.
Which actually, even though everyone was talking about it the day it was supposed to be happening, it went by pretty much unnoticed.
Yeah.
A lot like Kevin Webster over the last 10 years. Now, the other criticism we've had for our podcast is that we don't do enough chart stuff.
Absolutely, we've got a top 5 chart. I mean, we're going to present it as a pie chart, but Eamon Holmes ate it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. So we're going to do it as a proper top 5 countdown. So are we ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
So at 5, it's a non-mover. We've got Julian Assange at the Ecuadorian embassy.
Yeah, Julian Assange is still at the Ecuadorian embassy, so obviously he's a non-mover. He's actually a little bit disappointed because they're releasing a film about his life. And I think the main reason he's disappointed is because he's stuck at the Ecuadorian embassy. He can't go and see it.
Yeah, I suppose with any luck, someone will leak it on the internet and be able to watch it on there.
Well, it could be WikiLeaks who leak it.
Yeah, like belting himself out. So at number 4, it's going up and it's quite high now. It's Pete Doherty.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned earlier that we should consider giving Pete Doherty a name a bit like Subo.
Yeah, but that may... maybe not.
No, that's probably one for Kevin Webster.
Yeah. At number 3 and going down now, it's Chris Huhne.
Yeah, Chris Huhne, he's obviously going down because he tried to he basically lied, didn't he? He tried to get his wife to take his 3 points for his speeding fine and everything like that. But QPR have said they'll happily take his 3 points.
Well, I thought his wife took his 3 points, allegedly.
I don't know. I think they give him to QPR now.
So at number 2, which is ironic because that's what we'd like to throw at him, it's Piers Morgan.
Yeah, Piers Morgan, he's always got a lot to say, and particularly he's got a lot to say about the American gun laws, which I think mainly is so that he doesn't get shot.
Yeah, you would have thought so. There was a petition signed by about 60,000 people to deport Piers Morgan back to the UK.
And I think there's a petition with about 1,200,000 people here to keep him there.
Yeah, to put the barriers up and say, you can keep him, America. You can have Piers Morgan. And at number 1 now, it's a new release. It's more pictures of topless Kate Middleton.
Have you seen them?
I haven't, no.
Oh, they're quite good.
Are they? Fantastic. So, the Pope resigned.
Was he?
Yeah, I mean, I was amazed. I thought he died sort of about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's apparently the case that they elect new popes. And the way they elect a new pope is they have a vote on it, and there's some smoke that comes out of a chimney, and when it turns a certain colour, then that means they've elected a new pope.
Right. Well, I'm a bit confused, to be honest. Who was he managing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's not a football manager. He's a religious leader. But I can't help think that if that's what it takes to elect a new pope, then South London have been trying to elect a new pope for about 10 years now, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
So but yes, it is remarkable. And he's the first pope in 600 years to resign.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering whether he's been lined up for the Chelsea job. I think Roman Abramovich has put his hand in his pocket.
I think they've tried pretty much everyone else, haven't they?
Yeah.
So he's if
anyone's going to work miracles.
Well, exactly. He can only use resources that he's got. But it is strange because the Pope's job has it changed much over the years or not? Or is it still just effectively to be old and sit?
Well, it goes travelling quite a lot, but you don't see our Queen resigning, do you?
No, you don't, and she's been doing it for 60 years now.
Yeah.
Or 61 years now.
And, so she gets about a bit and has refused to resign.
She doesn't have a Pope-mobile, though, does she?
She doesn't, I suppose.
No, but it is amazing. So the Pope used to, I think... Was he present at the Christians versus the Lions? Christians versus the Lions in ancient Rome? Was that something the Pope used to do?
Was that a basketball game?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it was fantastic, you know. He'd come up... there were a lot of old people, though, no, certainly a lot of dribbling going on and stuff. No, as I say, I'm not sure if they still televise it anymore with the Pope there. Perhaps it might be on a pay-per-view channel. Or maybe a papal view channel.
Well, yeah.
Who knows? But I'm not sure whether they should pontificate too much about the Pope. It was German. The current Pope is German, isn't he? Part of the Hitler Youth in his younger years.
Yeah, and it's all about electing the new Pope now, isn't it? That's going to be the sort of next big thing over the next couple of months, really.
Yeah, and apparently the old Pope still has to live in the Vatican and just hang around, though.
What, even though he's dead?
No, not the old. Not
the
old
right.
One. The current one, yeah.
Right.
They've not still got sort of the stuffed body of the old Pope just knocking around.
Yeah.
Imagine if you started going out with someone. You started going out with a woman who'd say got divorced from her ex-husband, and under some kind of weird arrangement, her ex-husband still had to live in the house, and he kept going around, and he was still there. That'd be a bit unusual. So I can imagine for the new Pope that likewise that would be quite unusual for him just to have the old Pope there.
I've heard that someone in contention for the job as the next Pope is actually a former sailor who has quite big arms, big forearms, and goes out with olive oil. Popeye.
Oh right, yeah. Did he perhaps go on the reality show for electing the Pope, Pope Idol? Yeah,
that might be a good idea. Maybe they should do that.
Yeah, it could be good. As I say, we don't really know what will happen, but perhaps throw our hats into the ring ourselves. What are the requirements to be a Pope?
I think you need to be good at waving.
Yeah.
You need to not agree with having antivirus software on your computer because you don't believe in protection.
Absolutely.
Okay then, so and finally, our and finally section. This is where we just talk about everything.
Well, not everything. I mean, how long have we got? But we will talk about random news stories.
Yeah, I mean, the first one I came across was Chubby Checker is suing an app that was made in his name for guessing penis size.
Right.
I can't say penis.
Well, you just have them twice, so there's not a lot you can do about it, you dick.
Basically, the app's been made, and what you're supposed to do on this app, which is called the Chubby Checker app, is you put your foot size in, your feet size in, and then that's supposed to work out an estimate of your penis size. I'm not sure why you'd need to do that, but anyway. But they've called it the Chubby Checker app, and Chubby Checker is suing the app because it's apparently tarnished his reputation.
Really?
Despite the fact that Chubby Checker once sang a song with the lyrics in it, I want to play with my ding-a-ling.
He might not have been talking about he might have been talking about a bell or something. Who knows? But it is.
Obviously he was.
Yeah. But it is a bit disappointing because obviously his reputation should stand as being a fantastic fat drafts player, Chubby Checker. So
yeah, that's it.
Why? How would that app work though? Just on the basis that you put in your shoe size, then it tells you what the rest of your body's going to look like.
Well, surely it's a lot easier just to to get out your ruler and add a few centimetres on, rather than add a few centimetres on or sizes onto the size of your feet on the app.
Yeah. So if you're sort of a size 6 or something, would you think, I'll tell you what, I don't want to put size 6. I'll put it in European size, so I'll put my size 40. Then they're going to think, oh, this man's got massive feet, so therefore...
Do you think they go up in halves?
Yeah, they could do, just try and eke out that extra little bit. Are we talking about shoe size when we say halves, or...?
Anyway, moving on, the other story that I saw was a man who ate at the Heart Attack Grill every single day has died.
What did he die of?
A heart attack.
Well, that's... I can't believe he didn't see that one coming, basically.
No.
It was a very bizarre story, because he ate that every day, didn't he?
He was eating 9,000 calorie burgers, apparently.
Every day?
Every single day.
And you'd have thought, if somewhere advertised itself as the Heart Attack Restaurant, you wouldn't sort of walk past and think, oh, that looks like a nice place.
If anything, they can't be blamed, can they? 'Cause
No.
the name in itself is a disclaimer.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can do.
They're quite open about what they're going to do to people. It's... why would he go in there, though, is what I don't understand.
I'm not sure. I mean, there's been, man versus food challenges are something that are appearing quite often now, mainly due to the TV programme.
What's that called?
Man versus food.
Right.
But anyway, there's breakfasts now in Great Yarmouth that are around again, about 6,000 calories, and you've got sort of 8 sausages and 12 rashers of bacon and egg omelettes, everything. Black puddings, and the challenge is to eat it all. Horse burgers? Yeah, horse burgers in there as well.
Yeah, that's another bizarre story as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of them, I think it might have been, was it Findus or Tesco or something like that? Their lasagna product contained 100% horse meat, which really apparently very much disappointed the people who worked on the production line, who'd been putting a lot of effort in and said they put in 110%.
Well, I mean, I think, if anything, the way I stand on it is I must have been eating horse at some point. I haven't noticed. Whatever I've ate, I think's nice. What I say is more horse.
Why not? You don't know about it. You don't know that it's harming you. Although you could just eat proper stuff instead of just having ready meals.
Mm.
But it came from Ireland, didn't it, initially? Allegedly, it started off coming from Ireland, so I think we've now found where Shergar is.
I think the problem is as well that there's been rumours that bute's in the horse meat, which I think is something that they give to horses, is it?
I thought it was an aftershave, wasn't it? Or is that brute?
That's brute.
Okay.
But yeah, it's something to help horses when performing, isn't it? I think at races and things like that. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. So... it's stuff that Frankie Dettori has, I think.
Oh, do you think it was his horse that was killed then, basically?
Yeah. I mean, Frankie Dettori's not been seen since Celebrity Big Brother, so...
Do you think he was accidentally on the horse at the time when they sort of crushed it and chopped it down for horse meat?
He might have just been in my last Findus lasagna.
Yeah, well, he's Italian, so...
Well, yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. So thank you very much for listening to the WOWS podcast.
Yeah, episode 3. You can go on our website, www.wasteofwebspace.co.uk.
Or you can tweet us at wasteofwebspace. Maybe you could take our followers up to a whole 13.
Yep, we recorded the last podcast 2 weeks ago, and we had 12 followers then, and we've still got 12 followers now, so... It's,
if anything, it's, Consistency, that's it.
Yeah.
We're keeping it up. At least nobody's unfollowed us. Although if you do want to unfollow us, then you will get a mention in the next podcast. If you do want to mention, again, just tweet us or write to us on our website.